Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Saturday, February 24th, 2024. Now, if you like what you see, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my college basketball Bank Shot best bet, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. We got 136 line games in college hoops for Saturday. Here are those games. First up, we'll go to the ACC as Duke takes on Wake Forest. This one's going to be a 2 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN. Now, we took Wake Forest plus the points in the first meeting of this season series. Wasn't too long ago, back on February 12th. Duke won that game, won the game by 8 points, so they covered the number in that one, unfortunately. And it was a really bad beat. Wake Forest was inside the number for a good majority of that one, and a couple of missed free throws by the second best free throw shooting team in college basketball. And a weird finish, ended that game at 8 points. And it was a disappointment, but I think Wake Forest actually played pretty well in that first meeting. It came down to, like I said, the second best free throw shooting team, missing a few key free throws. And they're also a good three-point shooting team, Wake Forest is. They're ranked 25th in the nation in three-point shooting. They had a really tough day from the perimeter in that game. They were only a 6 of 26, 23% from three. So I think these shooting numbers are going to improve in the second meeting, especially at home. And I think fundamentally, Wake Forest had 15 offensive rebounds. They forced 13 turnovers in that game. They were competitive in that one, and I think that we're going to see them competitive in this game, have a chance to pull off a big upset here. They're playing good ball overall. They snapped that 2-game losing streak with a big blowout win against Pittsburgh last time out. A solid Pittsburgh team, 91-58. And that's a Pittsburgh team that has been really strong on the road this season. They've beaten a lot of teams on the road, but Wake Forest, it was a blowout win. And before that losing streak, we saw Wake Forest win 3 straight against Syracuse, Georgia Tech, and NC State. I still think this is one of the better teams in this conference, and I like this matchup for them. I'm going to take Wake Forest to get their revenge against Duke in this one. Next up, we see Alabama and Kentucky. This one's going to be a 4 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on CBS. Both teams playing in exciting games last time out. Alabama went to overtime against Florida, won that game at home 98-93, failed to cover the number, won that game against a ranked team nonetheless. Kentucky, they were looking pretty good against LSU for a majority of that game on the road, but an LSU buzzer beater grabbed the W for the Tigers in the end, 75-74. So, I think both of those games in terms of the a letdown spot kind of cancel out for both teams. And I think in this spot, I just think it's a good matchup for Alabama. We know that Kentucky relies a lot on that three-point jumper. They're number 2 in the country in three-point percentage as a team, 40.5%, really solid numbers. But Alabama is a good three-point defense, top 45 in the nation. They don't give up a lot of points from the perimeter. Only 27.4% of the points given up from Alabama's defense come from three-point jumpers. And Alabama themselves can go toe-to-toe with Kentucky from the three-point line in this game because they're also top 15 in the country in three-point shooting. So I think those kind of cancel out. We have 2 really good offenses and 2 defenses that have not been amazing this season, but I trust Alabama's more. The shot quality numbers are much better, and the things that Alabama struggles with on the defensive end aren't necessarily strengths of Kentucky. I mean, we see Alabama, not a great defensive rebounding team. They take quite a few fouls, but Kentucky, they don't get to the free throw line much, and they're ranked 177th in offensive rebounding percentage. So I don't think that Kentucky can exploit those things. And honestly, Kentucky's ranked 241st in defensive rebounding. Alabama, a very good offensive rebounding team, 21st in the country. So an already amazing shooting team at 6th best in effective field goal percentage should get a lot of second chance looks in this game. I know it's on the road. I know it's a really tough place to play, but this is an experienced Alabama team that's playing great basketball. I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide in this one. Next up, we see Oregon and Cal. This one's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on the Pac-12 network. Cal failed to cover last game against Oregon State for us, but made it interesting late because they were down by 9 points at halftime. Looked like we had no chance, but they won the second half by 17 points and won the game by 8 points in the end, 81-73. And, Cal's been a team we've backed quite a bit overall this season. At the beginning of the year, didn't fare too well, but in conference play now, Cal, after starting 0-3 in the Pac-12, is 8-8, and they've been a lot more competitive. A really, one of the most improved teams since the beginning of the season. And I like this spot for him, playing with revenge against Oregon, a team that beat them, more towards the beginning of conference play. That was when Oregon was 5-0 to start Pac-12 play, looking really strong. and now we see they're 5-5 in their last 10, not necessarily as strong as a team. And I think Cal matches up well. In that first meeting, it really just came down to 3-point jumpers. Cal was stronger on the offensive glass. They scored more 2-point field goals, sustainable buckets, and had a sharper field goal percentage from 2-point range in general. And I think it's this spot at home. Oregon, give them credit for their last 2 true road wins in the last 2 games, but this is their 3rd straight true road game against a really improved team. I'm going to go with Cal here, get their revenge against Oregon. Next up, we see UC Irvine and UC San Diego. This one's going to be a 4 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN+. One of the better mid-major games on the board for Saturday, and this should be a really entertaining game. The first meeting of this season series was really entertaining, despite what the final score may suggest. It was a double-digit win for UC Irvine, 76-65, but it really was a close game throughout. And in fact, UC San Diego had a 1-point lead on the road at halftime in that game. It was a close game down the stretch, and then UC Irvine added a few late buckets to dress up the score a bit. But I think this game's also going to be competitive. 2 of the better teams in the conference. You got a 12-3 conference record for UC San Diego, 13-2 for the Anteaters of UC Irvine. And, both teams in solid form. UC San Diego's won 3 straight games and 7 of their last 9. And UC Irvine has also, won a lot of their games recently, but they did lose to UC Riverside in their last true road game. Not a great loss there. It was a double-digit loss, 88-78. In fact, UC Irvine's got 7 losses overall this season in non-conference and conference play combined, and all 7 of those were true road games at San Jose State. Not a great loss. Duquesne, Utah State, San Diego State, New Mexico. Those are explainable, but also in conference play at UC Davis, and like I said, UC Riverside. UC San Diego's home court advantage is very underrated in my opinion. They had San Diego State on the ropes in non-conference play, only lost that game by 1 point as a double-digit underdog at home, and San Diego State needed a buzzer beater to win that ball game. So I think UC San Diego has a good shot at getting that revenge W here. They're a fundamentally sound team, shot quality-wise. You can make the argument that UC San Diego, the Tritons, are the better team. I'm going to go with the Tritons in this one. I think they grab the W at home. Next up, we see Villanova and Yukon. This one's going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on Fox, one of the better games on the board for the Saturday card. Yukon, of course, coming off the loss. They snapped that big win streak in the last game against Creighton. It really wasn't even a close one. 85-66, the final score in favor of the Blue Jays, where Creighton had a big lead from basically the beginning of the game to the end. And they shot 50% from 3, 14-28 from the perimeter. It was not a great shooting night for Yukon, especially from deep. And Creighton took advantage of that. Great home court advantage. I expect Yukon to bounce back, but I don't think they're going to win this game by blowout fashion. I think Villanova proved in the first meeting of this season series they're going to be able to compete with this Yukon team. It was only a 1-point game, 66-65, the final score, in a game where Villanova didn't even have its best shooting performance from the perimeter. It still, knocked down those free throws as the number 1 free throw shooting team in the country. If it's a close game late, you want to have a team like that shooting 82.2% from the charity stripe. Yukon ranked 101 in the nation in free throw percentage. So I think Villanova, they like to slow the game down. They're 321st in average possession length offensively, 305 on the defensive side. This means, with Yukon playing also really slow offensively, we should expect very limited possessions in this game. That's why the first game was 66-65, low-scoring contest. We should see another low-scoring contest here, and that really, makes the points getting with an underdog at a premium. I think, especially with this large spread, I think Villanova has a lot of wiggle room here, and I don't think they'll pull off the outright upset, but I think they'll have a chance. I think it's going to be a competitive game. Villanova, they've won 4 of the last 5 games. And while they're not necessarily known to be a great program on the road, they have some solid true road wins on the season. Got to remember they beat Creighton on the road, something that UConn couldn't do back on December 20th. So I'm going to take the points here with Villanova. Should be an interesting and exciting game. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.